let's get into this. Let's get into this. I hope you received my my topic. Why are men giving up? Why are men giving up on relationships? Why are men not wanting to be married anymore? There's a number of articles out there. We're going to talk about it. But I need you guys to wait for a few more people to get on. All right. Just going to wait a few. All right. All right. Okay, well, let's rock and roll. As you come on, please chime in. Let me know you are. Even let me know where you're from. Okay, where you're hailing from. But we want to get into this. And I want to talk to you today about why men are giving up on relationships. It's a real issue. It's a real thing. And I want to talk to you about it. And if you have questions, we're going to field some questions. We're going to talk about it. And hopefully we can come to some kind of, at least the beginning of some resolutions or some conclusions as to why this seeming movement is beginning to take root in our society. One thing that we found out, I was in a conversation with some people recently, and they were talking about reading an article, some articles that were talking about men and how men are not interested in being married anymore. In fact, even on the dating side, there are more and more young men who are deciding to not date. They're deciding that they're fed up. And believe it or not, there are people who are even in relationships where they're feeling left out. Last Monday, we talked a little bit about politics and, how to handle someone who has differing opinions. But one thing that's interesting is that the reason that the election went the way it did is because a lot of men came out and said that they feel like they've been left behind. Well, I think this is sort of a microcosm to what's going on in society in general. There's a growing number of men who feel as though they are not being fulfilled. They're not feeling like they're keeping up, like they're being left behind. And this is by no way and in no means is this denigrating or hey, Nikki, Nick D, this is no way denigrating or trying to disparage any progress that women have made. I think that the progress that people have made in this society is because of tenacity and need. There needs to be progress. There needs to be people who are moving forward and who are changing lives and doing things. But I want to talk specifically today. Women out there, I need you guys to hear me. I need you guys to chime in with your feelings, with your heart. But I want to talk about why are men giving up. Now, I'm going to share this with you and stay with me. Stay with me. I was looking at some responses that I've seen. There's so many articles out there, so many YouTube videos, so many podcasts and people out there. Hey, someone saying hi. Hey, John. Someone is, John Flint. How you doing? And also, who is that? That's Nick D. Hey. There are so many YouTube videos out there and podcasts and people who are saying, that I'm tired of marriage. There are movements, red pill movement, the passport bros or whomever. And these people are actually saying that they're tired and they're sick and tired. Well, in some of these comments, I just did a little research and I looked at some of these comments that are out there. I'm going to share a few of them from some very frustrated guys. One says, at 63, my game is up. I just enjoy peace and quiet. The world was here and in a mess when I got here, and it will be in a bigger mess when I leave. Sounds pretty hopeless. Someone else, just because I live in this world doesn't mean I have to participate in its madness. I'm not giving up. I'm just not putting up with any BS anymore. This is in response to, these are men who are responding to the idea that men no longer want to be married. They no longer want to be in relationships with women. Okay, stay with me. I never go out anymore. I go to work, go to the gym, and play PS5 and read. That might be the problem. That's it. F everything else. This world sucks and the people in it are awful. That's crazy. Someone says men simply just don't want to be stepdads. I've given up on women, but not myself. Now, these are just random comments that I've gotten. Okay. Let's see here. Here's another one. The game is rigged against us. The less you play, the more you win. You get to keep your house, your money, your health, your peace, your independence, and your sanity. Sounds like a win to me. I speak from experience. I'm 48. So these are men. So another one. I gave up on dating. The constant rejection, being ignored and ghosted, used for foodie calls, not being good enough no matter how low you set your standards. This is a men talking. It's all bull crap. My last straw was being treated like dog crap by a church girl that supposedly centers her life around Christ. Wow. Last comment. I gave up. I just don't trust women anymore. Wow. This is crazy, right? It's interesting that people are a lot of men are still saying that. However, and I agree with you, Lynn. Lynn says stats show that marriage is still desirable. And you're absolutely right. So here's the thing. In spite of this, in spite of the fact that you have this growing surge, and most of these, I'll be honest with you, most of these are not men of my generation. Most of these are sort of like, either millennials or zillennials after that. But men of my generation, we come up in a different time. We understand different things. Marriage meant something different to us. Okay. But for those men who are now experiencing some of this, it's pretty disheartening. It's incredibly disheartening. And the question is, what's going to happen in our future? In fact, I find that a lot of women are asking me constantly, Pastor Cal, where are the women? Where are the good men? Where are the good men? We can't find them. Now, this is the beauty in the show that we do, because each season we have roughly about 3,000 to 5,000 people who are applying to be married at first sight. Of those, probably about 30% of those are men. So there are men out there who want to be married. There are men out there who desire it. Okay. There are men out there who still want this. Okay. Marriage, though, someone says, what are the married men saying that marriage is for women? I need to do a 50 and over show. Yes, don't worry about it. We're not talking about married at first sight. That's going to come. Just be patient. But here's the thing. When it comes to people who are even in marriage, people who are married, there's a danger for men or women to feel left behind if they are not feeling valued. And this is what we want to talk about. How do you feel valued? Okay. Kimberly Ennis just comes on and says, how do they desire companionship or marriage? We'll talk about that in a second. But how do you feel valued? To be valued means it's something that's of worth. Okay. So the definition of value is something that you take interest in or something that you take worth in, something that's worth something to you. All right. And I believe the reason that men in this current generation are leaving marriage or desiring not to be a part of marriage, and a lot of them not even companionship, especially to you, Kimberly, when it goes down into, let's say the 30s and 20s, a lot of the young men I talk to, they don't even want to date anymore. That's true. They don't even want to date anymore. A lot of them, they're sick of dating. A lot of them are saying, I'm going to go find somebody from another culture. because they simply feel left out. I think that what's happened in our society is that there's been a lot of attention. You guys, you might shoot me for this, but I'm going to say it. There's been a lot of attention that's been given to how women feel. Okay? And it's needed attention because women have been neglected for so long. But I think in the same stead, there has not been as much attention given to what men feel and what they need. Now, Lynn asked the question, go deeper into what good men means. Let's talk about that. What is a good man? First of all, you can all give me some suggestions. What is a good man? What is a good man? Okay. A good man is a man, first of all, who realizes that he's a man. A man who realizes he's a man, and you realize you're a man not by your chronological age, but by your responsibilities and the fact that you can handle your responsibilities, the fact that you realize your own value and your own worth, the fact that you know how to give and how to receive respect, okay? And you're doing and acting and living in an age-appropriate manner. That's a good man, all right? That's a good man. Now, there are a lot of good men out here. All right, I'm going to answer some of your questions because I see them coming in now. Someone says, it's like applying for a job you know you won't get. This is what Drew is saying. It's like applying for a job. Wow. Now, so Drew, you're saying that it's like applying for a job that you know you won't get. So you're talking about dating. I'm assuming you're in the dating age. And this is what I hear from a lot of young men, that going after women now, dating is like you know you're not going to get it because their requirements are so high. And I think social media has done an incredibly piss poor job. Now, we're on the app now, so I can talk very honestly. All right. It's done a piss poor job in giving a false idea of what real relationships look like. Okay. It focuses on wealth. It focuses on acquisition. It focuses on all these things. When real relationships that last forever, relationships that last for the long term, are built on things that are internal, like value, like respect, like love. I'm going to use a reference to for the show one more time. I hate talking about the show too much, but I'm going to say this one thing. There's one couple, I won't even mention their name. And the reason that they are so successful now is because and they're not the most beautiful people in the world. He's not the most handsome guy in the world. Neither is she. But here's one thing that they did. They said, we are focused on being married and making this work and overcoming any obstacle. And this woman, who's an attractive woman, intelligent, whatever, the guy, he's okay, but he's not somebody you would just pick out and say, oh, wow, he's fine. But she said, this is a good man. He's emotionally intelligent. He's successful. He's got what I need, and I'm going to marry him. He's not 6 feet tall. He's 5'7", I think he is. I'm going to marry this man, and we're going to be married forever. And she could have had somebody else, but she went for value. She went for what was important because she had the sense to look for the long term and not just for the internet fluff. Okay? I hope you guys are getting this. I'm going to look at some of your comments here. Okay, Charles Williams says putting spouse and family first. Absolutely. That's a good man. I'm not running into good men. Now, Nick D, let me share this with you. If you're not running into good men, there are a couple things you have to ask yourself. Number one, where are you running to? What circles are you running in? Because good men are there. You have to find out what, first of all, am I looking for? Am I looking for a moral man? Then you have to be in areas and environments where moral men go. Am I looking for a successful man? Then you have to be in areas and environments where successful men hang out. Am I looking for an intelligent man? Then you have to be in those areas and those environments. You can't be hanging, I'm not saying that you're doing this, Nick, I'm not saying this, but anybody cannot be hanging somewhere expecting to find gold if you're not hanging in a place where gold is. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. All right. Now, someone says that emotional maturity is necessary in good men and women, but we're not even talking about women. We're talking about men. On another call, we will talk about women, okay? We will talk about women, okay? But someone says here, and I want to get these because I want to hear this. Women need to stop asking for stuff they know they don't have. He needs an 850 credit score, and they're in their low 500s. Oh, my God. Wow. Did you get this? And you guys are dropping some knowledge because that's the absolute truth. Sometimes your expectations are so high that they're almost impossible for anyone to fill. Sometimes your expectations are so high that it's almost impossible, and men feel inadequate. Men feel like, why the heck should I even try? If I sit down with you, you're going to ask me for what my credit score is. I have in the app, and you can look at it. It'll be uploaded soon. Questions not to ask on a first date. How much you make, where you work, all this other crap. Look, those are not value issues. Those are not value issues. Now, your positive values are going to bring about good results in those areas. But there could be any reason, any number of reasons that your score is a 650 instead of an 850. Every time you go into a major business deal, it may lower your credit. There could be any issues, okay? So we need to start thinking values-based and not materials-based. All right, now, okay. Hopefully working on self-improvement should attract something worthwhile. Now, I think this is a really important point because and in a moment, I'm going to divert from your questions and tell you what men actually need. Because working on self-improvement should attract something worthwhile. It should. But if you're working on improving yourself and becoming your best self and still you're not associating where people who appreciate that are, you're still not going to find it. You could be the best thing in the world. But if you're not surrounding yourself with great people, you're not going to find great people. Where do those good men hang out? Depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for good businessmen, find out where some of those conferences are, where good men are, or find out, or go to religious institutions or places like that. If you want moral people, now all of them ain't the same, but if you want moral people, and I can't tell you where to go because I don't know where you live, I don't know nothing about that. But what I am saying is that you have to be in a place to find what you want. Okay? Someone said it does make sense. Also, women must assess, are they positioned to attract the good man they want? Girl, please. Are you okay. Let me tell you something that pisses me off. It pisses me off and for women, please, if this is not you, then don't apply. Okay? But it pisses me off when everybody thinks that they're a queen. Everyone's not a queen, just like every man is not a king. Okay? You don't get the title of queen just because you are a woman. Queens are elected. Queens have a court. Queens have things that they have to do so that they're respected. I know a lot of men, and you guys might shoot me for this, but I know a lot of men who say, look, I want a queen, all right? And I understand that you're looking this way on IG and all this and all that. But look, if you're going to be mine, you can't be that way. If you're going to be mine, you have to cover this up. And for as much as doggish as men can be, and they can be, when it really comes down to it, men want decent women. Now, y'all might jump on me about that, and that's fine. I don't care. But men want women who they think are decent, and that's a relative term. You can look at it however you want to look at it, okay? Someone says Afrotech conference. How does it look when a man starts giving up? Jesus, how does it look when a man starts giving up? When a man starts giving up, number one, he doesn't care anymore. He starts becoming apathetic, and apathy is the worst emotion in the world. Apathy means I don't care about you. Secondly, he starts treating people differently. When you give up, when you become apathetic, you're not treating women with value. So this is a really, really, really dangerous thing. When a man gets to the point where he starts giving up, you're going to notice a change in his behavior and a change in how he treats you. He's not going to want to be around you that much anymore. He's going to start disrespecting you. These are signs of him giving up. Okay? So, what do men really need? Let's talk about it. Now, if I were to ask you this, I'm going to do a quick poll. Somebody tell me, start sending out. What do you think men need to not give up? What do men need to feel valued? Somebody tell me. I want to do just a quick poll on here. All right? Start typing. A safe landing space, Lynn said. Affection, Kimberly says. Someone else. Cooperation, Drew says. Somebody else. What do men need? You must also be willing to give more of yourself and not asking for that man to do it all. Thank you, Debbie. Someone else. Respect. Gotcha. Someone else. Empathy. Now, look, all these are incredible answers. And some of y'all are hitting the nail. All y'all are hitting the nail on the head. Nick D and Wendy said empathy. And someone else, Charles Williams, said partnership. All you are right. But I'm going to put these things in perspective. Validation. Oh my God. Yes. And all these are great. But the number one thing that I hear men saying that they want? Respect. Respect. And a lot of these can be folded under the umbrella of respect. Let me tell you a little the difference between respect and love. Okay. They're not the same. Love is a commitment we make to fulfill a person's legitimate needs. Okay, that is the definition of love. That is my definition. I've had it since college, and it's one that I sincerely believe. That love is when you make a commitment, okay? It's not always feeling, but sometimes it is. Respect means that I value you. Respect means that I almost honor you. I look up to you, and I believe that you are worthy. Now, get this. Someone says again, to feel needed and appreciated, to be motivated and praised. All these are things that men need. But let me share this with you. Men need respect first. Okay? Even if it's not, as a man, I would prefer to say, I respect you. Get this now. I would prefer to hear, I respect you over I love you. Yeah, it's that deep for men. Even if you're a Christian, even if you read the Gospels, Bible said, husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Okay, if you're not a Christian, just go with me. Husband, love your wives. Why? Because women need love. Then it says, wives, revere or respect your husbands. Why? Because love is the one thing that women need, and respect is the one thing that men need. I'm going to hear you, Nick. What does respect look like? I love it. Women need love. Men need respect. Now, with that respect comes a feeling of love, right? But understand this. You can write this down, quote it. It's my original. I said you can respect somebody that you don't love, but you cannot love somebody that you don't respect. Yeah. You can respect people you don't love. You respect the boss at your job, but you can't love somebody that you don't respect. And men understand that. Okay? Now get this. What does respect look like? Let's talk about it very quickly. The time's almost up here, and I so appreciate you guys. Here's what respect looks like. Number one, respect means that I honor you. Now, these are words that you guys are not going to find. They're not going to be comfortable. If you're going to respect a man, you got to honor him. Now, Melanie, you still going. He said for his wife to initiate sex. They need to feel heard. Yeah, men need all that. Trust. You guys ought to write this stuff down. But respect means that I honor you. Okay? I understand your value. This is what respect looks like. I understand your value. Get this now. I will communicate to you in a way that shows that I honor you. I hope you got that. I respect you mean I honor you and I value who you are, and I will communicate to you in a way that shows that I value you. This is what men need. They need to feel the value. They need to know that they are held in high esteem. Now you said, well, what if my man ain't doing nothing? What if he's not doing anything? I'm going to share the story with you. And then this is going to be a two-parter. I'm going to share a story with you. I will change the names to protect the innocent. But I actually counseled a couple. She was a very aggressive woman. He was a very passive man. And they sat in my office. And for the next 20 minutes, she berated him. She dogged him. And she told me everything that he was not. She did. My heart was breaking for him. But I let her go because I wanted to see the dynamics. And then I wanted to attack it. Once I saw the dynamics, she berated him. She dogged him out. She talked about how he didn't finish college. And he sat there for the entire time absorbing it and just sitting there in a very defeated manner. She said, I don't want him anymore. I'm divorcing him. And my counseling with them was because they had already decided to divorce. And I wanted to see, was there anything we could do to salvage it? Okay. Irrespective of what I said about her and her behavior and her expectations, they divorced. Not the end of the story. About a year later, maybe 18 months later, I saw him come to my church. And as he walked in, he was with this young lady that I knew actually. But I knew that she was such an incredible human being. She was such a motivating person. She had such a big heart. And I saw them talking, and his walk was different. They talked to me. They said they were dating. They wanted to counsel, etc., etc. Okay, great. We did it. We counseled. Eventually, they were married. This man, when his first wife criticized him about not finishing school, he completed college with this woman. He completed college. He got a great job in accounting. She quit her job as a teacher so that she could raise their children. And he became the man he always thought he could. Why? Because she respected him and she showed him what his potential looked like. Okay? She showed him what his potential was. Now, I'm not saying that men shouldn't come with that stuff already built in, but I am saying that you guys don't understand the power you have, women. You have the power to make us or break us. You have the power to lift us up or crush us. And so for as strong as men try to be, for as much as we think that we are, running everything, when it comes down to it, we need your respect. And we need to be communicated in a way that shows that you respect us. Now, I'm going to answer your questions, Nick, and then I think our time's almost up. Nick said, how does that look in dating? How does respect look in dating? You know what? I'm glad you're asking this because I talked to my daughter. I was 24 years old, and I tell her this all the time. I said, what a man looks for in dating from a woman is not someone who's a boss. Men don't look for women who are running things. It's okay if you are, but men don't want to be your employee if you are a boss. So if you're leading with all about you, all about what you need, all about your queendom, and you're not understanding the value of this man, you're not speaking to him in a way that is respectful, that is kind. This is what it looks like on a first date. You're simply talking kindly. Every man that I've talked to, and I can say that, I don't use absolutes often, but I can say almost every man that I've talked to, one thing that they want in women is kindness. Kindness is how it looks on a first date. Speaking sweetly, speaking kindly. Now, someone said, I'm not going to diminish myself. It's not diminishing yourself. Vulnerability, as my wife always says, is a superpower. You have no idea how much power you have when you allow yourself just to be the woman that you are. I know it might sound traditional. Some might say, oh, male toxic, whatever. We'll talk about that later, too. But this is how it is if you want to be married and stay married. Okay? Okay. Someone said, next one, parenting teenagers as a united front. All about your status, education, femininity. You guys are so on point. Look, I am so glad that you tuned in. I want you to do me a favor. You're more than welcome, Nick D. Do me a favor. We're going to be having other lives. Give us suggestions for topics. We're going to be bringing it to you, and you're going to, in a little while, see these lives on demand. Tell your friends about the app. Have them to download it. Tell them that they need to be on the next lives that we're going to discuss, okay? We're going to be dealing with some single stuff specifically. We're going to be dealing with some married stuff, okay? God bless you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next time. All right? Take care.